So this is the new WORX Landroid Vision Cloud four-wheel drive. And this one specifically is the WR344, which is made for 1 acre. And honestly, this mower is trying to do things a little bit differently than most of the other robotic mowers I've tested lately. This thing is compact. It's a lot smaller than some of the other ones, but that means it's got a smaller footprint. Because of this, it can get into tighter spaces, maneuver around landscaping easier, and work in areas where some of these other larger size mowers may struggle. What really makes this mower interesting is the technology behind it. Instead of relying on an RTK antenna, which you stick in your ground in your yard somewhere, WORX is using what they call RTK Cloud technology, combined with the vision of the VSLAM in the front. The goal here is a cleaner setup, less hardware clutter in the yard, smarter navigation without requiring the traditional RTK setup we're all used to seeing. This mower also has a fully pivoting rear section that helps the mower stay planted as it goes across uneven terrain. That is actually pretty impressive to watch in person. So another feature I really like is the battery. This thing is removable. WORX is using the same PowerShare battery ecosystem across a lot of their tools. So the battery in the mower can actually swap with other tools. So that is pretty cool. This one is a higher capacity battery, but having that cross compatibility is honestly really convenient. I've got two others here on the charger for my blower. So that's actually really cool. That's a great idea. And it doesn't lack in time, mowing, or power. And I'll say this too, this mower is quiet, surprisingly quiet. Occasionally you hear the front steering turning as it makes its pivots. Obviously, the big question is going to be, will this thing perform long term? We'll see how this RTK Cloud system really works in my yard and ultimately figure out whether this smaller four-wheel drive mower is actually onto something or not. So I do want to be honest in my reviews, of course, and during setup I did run into one error. The app said unable to connect to NTRIP server. Every time I tried to map a new area, it came up with this error. So a simple phone call to customer service, they were very nice. They basically said I had to unpair the machine, pair it, and start to remap. And it did fix the problem. Oh, that was actually pretty dang good. Little incline here. Okay, that was actually pretty impressive. Oh, I did see the flag. Good job, WORX. Here we go. Doing a solid job. Okay, mailbox. 90-degree turn. I'm just going back up a little bit. That's pretty cool how it does that. Inward facing turn. That does a good job. Wow. Okay, that actually worked really well. So I waited until it got to this point and then I hit the manual button. And then when I want, you got the auto button there in orange. So you can manually control it. Along borders, everybody asks me, how do you control it when you don't have a divider between you and your neighbor? That's how you do it. So you just manually control it and then you set it back to auto. That WORX also includes this, which is no-go line, where you basically stake it into the ground around something that you don't want to manually map around, or maybe the mower is having trouble automatically mapping around it. So that's a nice alternative. It does see this tape as a something to avoid. It says you can also use a garden hose. Now, as far as mowing goes, the WORX mower leaves a nice clean cut. I do think the signal cutting disc is worth mentioning because this is not trying to be an ultra heavy duty commercial style mowing machine. This mower feels more focused on efficiency, navigation, flexibility, and everyday residential mowing. And honestly, for smaller or more divided yards, that could end up being exactly what some homeowners need. First mow looks absolutely incredible. I let it get down to about 13% before I sent it back to its charger. It found it no problem whatsoever, but look at this cut. Wow. And this is on wet ground. That is a nice cut. Now, you will have some stragglers. I mean, it is wet. Look at that. And very nice. That just mulches in. Actually, it does a really good job. It's very surprising how you can just set this thing in your grass, tell it to go, and it starts mapping automatically. And it does such straight lines, all on its own. You surround the perimeter of your yard. It does everything on the inside. That's how it works. All automatic. Very nice. Built-in RTK, four-wheel drive, articulated body. Wow. This is a nice one, fellas. Not too heavy. Here comes Lucky. It's not too heavy to cause ruts in your yard. Look at that. I mean, look. That's beautiful. Let's talk pros and cons for the WORX Landroid. Pros: a great cut. It follows every contour in your yard and looks great. The mapping is super easy. You can drop it in your yard and it will map automatically, or you can do manual mapping. It's very compact, so it doesn't take up too much room if you have to store it during the winter. And they've got strong customer support. Cons: it does only have a single cut disc with the other disc for edging, so it does take a little bit of time if you are looking at doing an acre or larger, up to an acre and a half with the other model. I noticed mine charges for 40 minutes and then mows for 40 minutes, then comes back, charges 40 minutes. And there are no speed adjustments as far as I can tell. But that can always change over the air. So overall, it's a great mower. This could end up being a really compelling option for homeowners that want something smaller, quieter, and easier to integrate into everyday yard maintenance. If you want to learn anything more, I'm going to put all the links to everything I used in the video below. Please go check out WORX and their website. Click on my links to support the channel. I appreciate it if you do. Check out my gear. I have listed everything below. That's going to wrap up the video for this one, guys. I'll see you later. I appreciate all of you. I really do. See ya.